right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on another episode of the Janine Hernandez TV show. Today, I have the privilege and honor of having Mrs. S.J. Stevens with us today. She is an author, speaker, business owner, entrepreneur. She does it all. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Of course. So tell our listeners and our viewers a little bit more about yourself.
So, my name is S.J. Stevens. I am based out of St. Louis, Missouri, and I am an author by default almost. Writing a book had been on my 40 before 40 list forever. And I literally just woke up one day and wrote a book. Like there was no preparation, there was no outline. I think I wrote it in maybe a few hours. And it's just kind of gone from there. I released one November 15th. The second one came out December 18th. And then there's another one coming out next month.
Wow. So you literally woke up one day and was like, oh, that's it. I'm doing it. I'm writing a book.
I don't know where I get my work ethic from, but I'm really, if I have a deadline, I will get it done. If you say, oh, take your time and do it, it won't get done. So that's just kind of how I operate.
I love it. So tell me, because I want to talk a little bit about all three books, but where do you get the inspiration? Because I'll tell you from my experience, it takes time. Like the book has to grow. But for you, it seems like it just comes to you.
I said this was my year. It started probably about last October. I just said, this is my time. I have put off doing so many things because I'm a mother. I was a wife. I'm a business person. I just did everything for everybody else. And so I just finally said, it's about me now. And so it's like, once I put my mind to something, it just goes.
It just comes to you. Awesome. So tell us a little bit about the very first book that you launched. What is it about? What's it called?
Okay, so the first book is called Business Affirmations for Bosses, and it is just a really inspirational book. That's the one that I sold out. I sold out 115 copies in less than a day. And it is really just motivation. We've all been there where we struggle. We think, what we're doing isn't good enough, the self-doubt, all that good stuff. And so this book is like, if you follow me on social media, like I am really outspoken, really outgoing. This book is like having a conversation with me, so it is definitely, it's 121 pages full of motivation, self-love, believing yourself. I think that that's what stops a lot of people from doing things. Is if you don't believe in it, then why would somebody else believe in it? So that's what the first book is. It's just to kind of get you going.
I love it. And then, okay, so then you wrote a second book a couple months after that. Tell us about that one.
So that one is a collaborative book. So my own personal business, I am a business consultant and I specialize in funding. And so this is a grant writer's book. It's called Blacks in Nonprofit, the Grant Writers Edition. And it is myself and 6 other amazing grant professionals from all over. I'm the only one out of the St. Louis area. And my specialty with my clients is really getting them ready. People think, oh, I got a business, I should get funding. I have a nonprofit, I want a grant. That's not how that goes. So I really focus on like setting the foundation, getting everything in order. And so that's what my chapter in that book is dedicated to. It's grant readiness. Like we can get the money if everything else is okay first. So that's what that's about.
So it gets them prepared for the process of grant and getting those grants.
Yes, that's what my chapter is. Now, the other chapters, people talk specifically about how to apply for grants, how to find the grant. So the book in and of itself is start to finish, how to get a grant.
Okay, I'm going to have to check that one out.
Yes.
That's awesome. And then, so you have a third book coming out in February. Tell us about that one.
So that one it's very personal. So I have done everything under the sun. I was a police officer, a correctional officer. I work in the banking industry now. Like I literally have done everything. And I was talking to my kids one day just about like my experiences when I was their age and what I did and what they better not do. And it just, came to me like, this is a story of just how to get through anything pretty much. I had went through a really, really messy divorce, a divorce that I honestly, I didn't think I would recover from. It was really bad. And so I just feel like to understand where I'm at now, you have to understand where I came from. So that book is actually a 3-part series, and it is about the evolution of SJ. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So can you share with us just a little bit more? Like, what kind of stories do you share in there? Or who is your ideal reader? Like, who should be reading this book?
I feel like anybody. So my motivation for the book was when I first left my husband and I came back to St. Louis, I was embarrassed. I felt like I had failed. I was living this amazing life with him. And like, when I came back to St. Louis, which was in 2015 of December, I came back like in pajamas. I didn't have on shoes. I had my clothes in trash bags. I didn't even know where I was going. All I knew was that I needed to come back home, and so I just was so embarrassed though. I felt just horrible. And so the more I tried to hide it from people and, try to conceal it and still fake this perfect life, it was just draining. It was a very, very dark period in my life. And so once I got comfortable telling the story, it was so many other women and men that were like, I've been through something similar, or I was thinking about leaving a situation, but I was afraid to. And so to hear your story, makes me know that I'm not the only one. You can recover from anything. And just to see how positive, I made the situation. It was a horrible situation, but I just made the best of it. So it's really for anybody, that's been through anything, that's going through anything. It's definitely geared towards women, but it also shows men. It shows men the effects that their actions can have on the women in their lives and the children in their lives. They may think I'm not bothering nobody or this isn't that bad, but like to be on the other side, of some of these behaviors, it's something. So it's for anybody.
I love that. I love that you share your story and that you're being authentic with your readers. When does that book come out and what is the title of it?
So I don't want to say the title yet just because I'm funny with like titles and dates and all of that, but I turned 40 February the 23rd, so it will be released on my 40th birthday.
I love that. That is awesome. And where do you have your books? Are they on Amazon or on your website?
So everything for now is on my website, just because everything was so personal to me. Like I self-published, everything. I did everything from start to finish myself. And so I just wanted to, see it all rolling into me. Everything will be available on Amazon later this year, but for now, it's strictly my website.
Okay, perfect. And so I want to just congratulate you for all 3 books that you've written. You're doing an amazing job. And I cannot wait to see what other books you come up with, since you're on a roll, you'll probably have another one in May.
I hope so. That's the plan. It's just like keep it going while the momentum is here. Let's keep rolling.
I love it. And so tell us a little bit about your business. So how did you get started in that, like that in grant writing specifically? Is it something you've always done?
So I was in nonprofit leadership positions here in St. Louis at some of the pretty big organizations, either as a director or operations manager. And so one of my jobs was to like manage the budget, report on the grants, things like that. And so ironically, one day last year in February, a young lady reached out to me asking for help with the grant. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So she sent me the proposal and it was really simple, maybe 2 or 3 pages. And I was like, oh, well, I'll just help you do it. Like, I would never charge you for that because it's not really that big of a deal. And the young lady just burst into tears. And I was sitting there like, what do I do? Like, what's wrong with you? And she was like, no one has ever offered to help me. Everybody wanted to charge me, all of these ridiculous rates. I don't really have the money, but the organization that I'm building, we need the money. And I was like, oh no, I'll help you. And so she made a Facebook post. I, in turn, made a post myself. The post had over 200 comments in less than like 30 minutes. Wow. And people were like, we didn't know you wrote, because I never told anybody, we didn't know you wrote grants, and can you help us? And so that post was on a Friday. By that Saturday morning, I had built my first booking website. Never built a website in life. I had built the first website, and by that Sunday, I had already had maybe 8 consultations booked. And
Wow.
so it literally just happened. And so, from there, and it's definitely, I tell everybody, owning a business is not the glitz and glam that people think. It's a lot of work. And so from February to June, I did more research. I took more training myself, figured out what works, what does not work. And so I actually relaunched June the 3rd with my real website. And I also offer additional services. I had a grant readiness checklist for people, the grant writing, business plans, proposals, how to establish a nonprofit. And then I kind of went into the actual business consulting side, because I have a lot of clients that have for-profit businesses that like kind of want to rework them and get them, kind of back on track. So I also do that. And I actually today just posted on social media, I have a grant writing class that starts February the 1st.
Wow.
So
Okay. So you just strike me as someone that if you have an idea, you just run with it. Or actually, not even that. You find an opportunity and you take advantage of the opportunity, because
yeah.
I've heard, sometimes we might be presented with an opportunity and not be ready. So you were ready when God called. You were ready. You were like, I'm ready to make this happen.
Yeah, and you know what though? It's still all about timing. So when I started in February, that was the first thing people asked, like, "Oh my God, teach me how." So I had this half-cocked idea. I'll call it what it is. I'm gonna do a grant writing class, and I wasn't ready, and so COVID happened. And so anything in person was out the door. And so I honestly had put the idea on the back burner, like I'll revisit it, later. People have been asking, but I'm like, I really don't even have the time to devote to it at this time. And so once the grant writing book came out in December, I had like 4 people ask me, 4 random people. I mean, it was like back to back, like an email or inquiry on my website, Facebook, Instagram. And I was like, it's time. It's time now. It wasn't time in February because, for one, I feel like I wasn't prepared enough. Everything was happening so fast. And it was, the stuff that I've learned in this past year is crazy. And so it's just like, it was the idea back then, but I wasn't ready. I'm more than ready now, honey. I'm ready to go.
That is amazing. I cannot wait to see what else you come up with. What is coming up for you? Do you have any upcoming projects or anything else you're working on?
I don't at the time. I mean, outside of the grant writing class. So it'll be a 3-week course. Everybody that signs up for will get a copy of the grant writing book, because that's a really big part of it. There's a workbook that I have created, which really breaks down the whole process. There are actual assignments, because one of the things, I apologize, that I didn't mention that I do is I also sit on the review committee here in St. Louis for this organization called Flourish. And so what we do is people apply for grants through this organization, and I say yes or no. So it kind of gives me the edge of, I write the grants and I also approve the grants. So I'll be able to give the people who sign up for the class, really interactive assignments and critique and feedback. And so I just finished the workbook for that. I just made the class announcement today. They don't start until February the 1st, but I've already had 6 people sign up today. So
that's amazing. That
yes.
is amazing. Well, I have to say that you are definitely an inspiration. I'm so glad that we connected.
Yes.
And you are doing just an amazing, amazing job with your books, with your business, with inspiring people. You're just doing a great, great job. I love it. Tell our listeners and our viewers, if they would love to connect with you, where can they connect with you? Do you have a Facebook, Instagram, email, etc.?
Yes, I have all of those things. First, can I show them the book?
Sure, go ahead.
So this is the book of affirmations. Like I said, it's called Affirmations for Bosses. It is available on my website. And then the second book is Blacks and Nonprofit,
Love
the
it.
Grant Writers Edition. They both are available on the website. Now, Blacks and Nonprofits is also available on Amazon. But if you want a signed copy, it has to come through my website only. And my website is sjsbusinessbuilding.com. Everything is SJS. My Facebook page is the name of the business, sjs.businessbuilding.com, and Instagram is sjs underscore businessbuilding.com. And I would love to connect with you guys if you have any questions, just any tips. Like I said, I have a grant readiness checklist that I send out to people. Any way that I can help build you guys' dream, let me know. I'm here for it.
Yes, guys. So you have heard it here where you can contact her. She's on all social media platforms. Her books are primarily on her website. The grant writing one is on Amazon. But if you want that signed copy, make sure that you check her website out for that. Well, I
Yes.
want to thank you so much for joining us on the Janine Hernandez TV show. You are such an inspiration. I know that you're going to inspire so many listeners and viewers. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
No problem. And do you have any last minute words that you'd like to leave everyone with?
Absolutely. I just always say, just go for it. Nothing can happen, but it doesn't happen. You have to just try and you have to believe it. I set very specific goals for myself. I give myself crazy deadlines. Because I have to push myself. If I keep waiting, there's in my mind, there's always tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it the next day. What if that doesn't happen? So set the goal, set the guidelines, and just kill it. Just go for it. That's all I got.
I love it. Love it. Well, thank you so much. And guys, thank you so much for watching another episode of the Janine Hernandez TV show. As with anything, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, do all of that amazing stuff. And we will see you on the next episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.